It's noon here in Ventnor City, New Jersey, and our nation's capital, Washington, D.C. And this is CarEdge Live for Thursday, February 20th. And you know what we're celebrating today? Not a damn thing, because it's not Valentine's Day, it's not President's Day, it's Nothing Day. And this with your host, me, Ray, getting worked up already, and my good-looking son there, Zach. How are you today, handsome?
Happy Thursday, February 20th, everyone. Glad to be with you here on CarEdge Live. We've got a sponsor for today's show, our friends over at Lease End. Check the link in the top of the description. Before that, we'll talk about them in about 10 minutes. CarEdge.com. If we can help you out with anything, folks, buying a car, selling a car, tracking its value, insurance, warranty, anything and everything, check it out. CarEdge.com. Go ahead, get the best deal, save thousands, be educated, be informed. The big news this morning comes by way of Carvana. Carvana has made more money, baby. They just keep figuring things out where other auto dealer groups are unable to. Carvana swings to $159 million Q4 net profit as vehicle sales, surge 50%. Now, here's what I prepared for today's show and what we can't believe, folks. I have a spreadsheet. I update it every single quarter, and I track new vehicle and used vehicle gross profit per unit dating all the way back to, for new vehicles, 2018, and for used vehicles back to 2018. Look at that. I have both of them for new and used to 2018. Wow. I want to start here on new cars just to set some expectations, Dad. I don't know if you even knew that I do this. Did you know that I do this?
No, because you don't really share with me on a consistent basis.
And this stuff in this sheet links out to all of the press releases, all of the quarterly earnings, everything. So this is new cars, guys. AutoNation, that's the cell right here. AutoNation in the most recent quarter, fourth quarter of 2024, they made $2,971 per new vehicle sold. Penske sells more luxury vehicles, made $5,000, Lithia $3,000. Group 1, $3,500, Sonic, $3,200. The average was $3,615, $3,615. And that is down year over year from the fourth quarter of the prior year, 15.78%.
Yes. What are you trying to suggest here?
New cars were making somewhere around $3,500, $3,600. Now let's jump over to used cars.
Okay.
So we've got AutoNation. They make $1,549 per used car sold. That's what that cell is telling you right there in the most recent quarter. Penske, makes sense. They're closer to in line with their peers at $1,797 because they're not selling more luxury used cars. They're just selling used cars.
Yes.
Lithia, they're at $1,694. Group 1, $1,433. Sonic at $1,396. And Carvana at $6,671. The average for the industry for these publicly traded companies is $2,423. You take out Carvana, the average is $1,574. You put it on a nice looking chart, Dad.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay, folks. Carvana's over on the right. That's how much money they've made per, fourth quarter in gross profit per vehicle compared to their peers.
Yeah. What are you suggesting?
I don't know. It's just data, baby. It's just data. What's the data saying?
It's not just data. Okay, it's more than just data. It is. I don't know what's the best way to describe it. You had all those large publicly traded companies, and you can see what their profit per used car is, and without Carvana in the mix, it is $1,574. And Carvana is saying, we are so good at what we do that we are more than 4 times better than the industry average. This comes from a company that until recently, with its new accounting practices, had lost money every quarter except for one. And then now, after they were nearly bankrupt, they have figured it out better than anybody else in the industry. Remember, the opinions expressed on this show by me are my opinions only and do not necessarily reflect the thinking of CarEdge. But in my opinion, strictly my opinion, You don't go from being the worst in the industry to being 4.5 times better than everybody else in the industry unless you're not accounting for things 100% properly. I
Again,
don't
my
know what
father's
they're
opinion,
including.
but
Well, let me just
look at
say,
the
I don't know what they're
history.
including as gross profit in their deals, but I would suggest that nobody else is including everything it is that Carvana does.
Here's what they've been able to do historically, guys. We have all the
Yeah.
data. Back in 2018, Q4 of 2018, they did $2,131, so closer to the industry average, which was
Yes.
1405.
Yes.
Then they did 2,829, significantly better than 1369, which is the industry average. And
Yeah.
I'm saying industry average, the other public comps that I have. I don't have CarMax in here yet because we haven't gotten CarMax's Q4 numbers yet.
Yes.
Then in 2020, $3,379 per vehicle. Industry was at 1,539. You can see in 2021, they made 4,566 when the industry was up to 2,191. So that was a great year for car dealers in terms of how much money they were making per used car sold. Then it fell off significantly in 2022 to $2,219, yet that was still above the industry average of $1,698. Last year in 2023, so we're talking about Q4 2023, $5,283, which was significantly better than the 1639 for the industry. And then this fourth quarter, which it's interesting, Dad, this fourth quarter was actually down from the third quarter, the most recent third quarter they had in 2024 at 6,671 compared to an industry average of 1,574. We can't believe Carvana just did this. I think that is the most accurate, least clickbaity title we've ever had for one of our YouTube shows because the data just tells an insane story. Now, one other comment on this. There's no financial advice on this show when it comes to picking stocks and things like that. But the price to earnings ratio for Carvana stock is over 30,000. The price to earnings ratio for, all right, let's look it up actually really quickly. Let me make sure I'm quoting it correctly. Stand by, please. Yeah, this is fantastic. The price to earnings ratio for CarMax is 29.
Yes.
Okay, 29. You can see it right there. That means the current price relative to the amount of earnings they make, it's a ratio of 29.
It's 29 times greater than earnings.
Carvana is at, there you go, 25,665. I think a lot of investors are banking on a lot of future potential from this company. And they are, as far as the gross profit per unit, I cannot believe that they are making over $6,500 per vehicle sold when the industry, the other publicly traded comps are at 1,500, 1,600.
Yeah, I can't believe that either. There would be nothing to suggest that they are that much better than everyone else in the industry when it comes to retailing used cars. Are they buying them for less money than others? Well, we've seen their quotes. In many cases, they are not. Are they reconditioning them to the same degree that others are? The suggestions that I have heard from some people that have actually worked for Carvana is, well, no, they're not. Okay. Their concept of reconditioning is to allow the customer to discover whatever issues there are with the vehicle once they've bought the vehicle and then have their warranty company take care of it. So that might allow them to inflate the profit on the vehicle because their extended warranty company that they own is the cost of what would and should be reconditioning. In essence, what they really are is a loan originator. And they are counting, from what I have seen in their accounting practices, they are counting the profit, the expected profit from the loan that they placed on each vehicle in the gross profit of that sale. Well, that money isn't realized until customers actually make loan payments. And when they don't make loan payments,
that
cuts into the profits. And we know that if I remember correctly, what was it, $3,100 a year is the minimum amount you have
Yeah,
to make.
you got to make like $100 a week to get
Okay,
approved for an auto loan.
$5,100
Yeah.
a year. It was $5,100 a year is the minimum income level you have to qualify for a loan at Carvana. $5,100 a year, less than $100 a week. I don't know what you're. I you can't buy eggs, okay? Let alone a car and get a loan.
Pops, forgive me, but
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
got some sponsors and we got to get them into the first 10 minutes. We're already
yes.
34 seconds
I
over.
apologize.
Back to Pops on Carvana rant in about 60 seconds. Before that, folks, Lease End, we've got a great new sponsor for our channel, a sponsor that my dad is considering using at the end of his current lease because Pops dealerships make it very difficult for you to get out of your car lease. Car dealers profit by keeping you in that leasing cycle, making the buyout process confusing, time consuming, and packed with unnecessary fees. Dealership pressure tactics don't make it any better, and long wait times discourage buyouts. That's where Lease End comes in to help you take control over your lease buyout. You can skip the dealership altogether, no more upsells, long waits, or hidden fees, and you can keep your car's equity. If your car is worth more than the buyout price, that value belongs to who? You, not the dealer. Get the best loan options as well. Lease End works with multiple banks to secure better rates than most customers would find on their own. And you can take control of your lease today and save big. Get started now at leaseend.com/CarEdge. Got that screen pulled up right here. There we are, folks. End your lease, keep your car, and avoid the dealership. Take a peek back at leaseend.com/CarEdge. Okay, Pops, back to your commentary. So a couple things. In your opinion, you think that there are some accounting challenges that lead to these numbers. I'm right there with you, man. In my opinion, too. How the hell else can you end up with such inflated numbers relative to your peers? Having the financing capability maybe gives them this opportunity to make more money. We know finance companies make a boatload of money, so that could make sense. But bundling it into gross profit per unit could be misleading, could be confusing, or is misleading, is confusing, is our stance on it. And
yes,
how aggressive are you being in approving those loans so that you can move more metal? It could be a little bit of a like robbing Peter to pay Paul situation. Like maybe the chicken comes home to roost in a few years when these people don't necessarily pay off their auto loans. That's my concern.
Well, I don't know how you book as profit unrealized gains from the loan
and maybe there's an accounting way to do it where once they sell it as asset-backed securities, I'm not an accountant. I don't claim to be an accountant. Neither of us even have college degrees, folks. So take it with a huge grain of salt. It's just our spidey sense is going off. We cannot believe, and you look at the data, it's an albatross. It stands out.
There was a company out there that 2 months ago, 3 months ago, that has since ceased operations, who have spent time looking at the accounting practices of Carvana, and in their opinion, came to the conclusion that they were using faulty accounting practices to artificially inflate the values, the profits per vehicle sold.
Yeah, that was Hindenburg Research. They've since gone under, although recently Nikola, which is one of the companies that they went after, Nikola actually just went bankrupt, so they were kind of onto some things over there. But you know what, Dad? Let's keep going, but then I want to pivot.
Well, I was just going to say, Hindenburg's history has been, in most cases, when they call out a company, they're right. Okay, I am of the opinion that a lot of investors don't really look deeply into the numbers. They just see the cursory headline that says Carvana swung to $159 million fourth quarter profit. Sales were up 50%. That's pretty damn spectacular. Let me buy more. And while investors are buying more, the Garcias are selling off their stock.
Let's pivot it there, Dad, because you know what? Our purpose here isn't to give financial advice for stocks to pick. Our purpose is to give you informed information about buying a car. So does this raise any red flags for you? Would you not buy a car from Carvana because they have great quarterly earnings? Or is it, you know what? They've actually innovated in so many ways, a better experience to buy used cars and to sell your car. Obviously, we don't like that they don't have pre-purchase inspections, but let's pivot the conversation away
Yeah.
from
Okay.
potentially the smoke
Yeah.
and mirrors of accounting to, is this something that would stop you from buying a car or selling a car to Carvana?
Well, it wouldn't stop me from selling a car to Carvana if they want to overpay for a car. If they wanted to overpay for my car, I would let them. When you had a car,
Yep.
and they were willing to overpay for your car in comparison to every other bid that you had, you let them.
Yep.
They made it easy. So they do make it easy to sell them a car. Would I buy a car from them? I mean, allegedly they sold 114,000 used cars in the fourth quarter. My guess is the vast majority of the people that bought a car from them were happy with the experience and are happy with the car. Uh, Knowing some of the things that I know about Carvana, that you're going to overpay for the car, knowing that they don't necessarily do a lot of the reconditioning that a vehicle needs before it should be sold. So, for those reasons, I would not buy a car from Carvana. But there are plenty of people. I mean, the business model itself of trying to make it transparent so that a customer fully understands what the price of the vehicle is, how much they're paying for it.
Yeah.
What they do in that regard is top notch. It's total transparency. Well, maybe not when it comes to the loan as much, but for the sale of the vehicle itself, the advertised price is the price you can buy the damn thing for, and they'll give you the breakdown of what it is, everything all in.
Yep.
So yeah, from that perspective, they have done a remarkable job. They have experienced issues in the past that would preclude me from buying something from them, but it wouldn't preclude me from selling something to them if they wanted to pay more for it than anyone else.
There you go, folks. Former car dealer. That's your input when it comes to Carvana. Dad, let's turn here to the chat from David Langle. Thank you, David. Happy birthday to me. Woohoo, 54. Today, cake for EV. Not sure what cake for EV means, but happy 54th birthday to David.
Yes, happy birthday, David. Glad you made another trip around the sun, and we look forward to celebrating with you again next year.
Congratulations, David, and happy birthday. Dreadnought, thank you for the kind contribution. Suggestion on the CarEdge projected value depreciation chart, provide options for new, close to new CPO used Lemon. There will be different depreciation curves. That's a great idea for those of you that are unfamiliar. Back on CarEdge.com, we have for free tracking your vehicle's estimated future value. Just click right here on what's my car worth and enter it. And then once you have your vehicle in your garage, you can just click up there in the top right, go to My Cars. Remember, Pops, we got Ray's Dream.
It's still
Ray's
in
Dream,
there,
baby. Right here. What's going to happen over the next 5 years to Ray's Dream? It's going to crash in value.
Unless, of course, I sell it to Carvana.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Yeah.
Really good information here, and definitely some great input about how we can make that even better. Dad, the other story that we need to touch on today, and you hear Igor here in the chat bringing it up,
Yes.
Mercedes will be cutting its production from 2.5 million cars down to 2 million cars globally. Just announced. Yes, Automotive News covering this as well. Big financial shakeup going on and big strategic shakeup going on over at Mercedes. Mercedes expected to announce strategic reset at 2024 financial results event. What is going on at Mercedes, Dad? They seem to be on shaky footing. I'm not necessarily going to go as far as saying they're on like Nissan footing, but they're making some big moves here.
They've decided, it appears, that they're content selling fewer vehicles that are higher priced vehicles than expanding the number of vehicles that they could sell by bringing out less expensive vehicles. So they have decided to put their eggs in the, hey, let's go way upscale basket and abandon the lower entry level type of Mercedes-Benzes, because it'll produce more profit per car. So they're going to make more profit per car, but while this is happening, they are taking it in the shorts to a certain degree. Their profit margin had been like 12.1%. It is expected to be 8% or drop to 8%. They're saying in 2025 it could drop down to as low as 6%.
Wow.
So they just have so many costs involved. So I mean they're planning on moving some of their manufacturing from Germany to Hungary because it's 70% less expensive to build the same vehicle in Hungary.
Wow.
They're going to increase. They're actually going to bring out over the next year or 2 years more ICE vehicles, internal combustion engine vehicles, than EVs, 19 to 17. So even though they had been putting all their money in that EV basket for a while, they realized that, well, it was a mistake. Realistically, there was only one major company out there that really pumped the brakes on EVs, and that was Toyota.
Yeah, but I think there's another story here. In addition to the powertrain story that you and I cover all the time, the other story with Mercedes was they did go down market significantly. Remember the CLA, Dad?
Yes.
The A-Class and the CLA, they brought the A-Class to the United States as an entry-level price point to try and get customers, younger customers, earlier in their wealth creation, period customers. They were just trying to get cheaper customers that then they could carry up through the brand. But look at this, man. We've got a 2021, let's see, Mercedes-Benz A-Class, $24,000. I'm really curious to see the window sticker on this thing because I wonder what it was originally. Moment of truth here.
30-something?
35.6. You can see it right there.
Yeah, but they've done away with it.
Exactly. They made an intentional decision to produce those vehicles at 35.6. You could get into a brand new Mercedes A220. Okay. And I am so impressed with our team that you can, for free, folks, get the window sticker for that used car that you're shopping for back on our car search. That is so impressive. And now it's selling for
can I ask you
less.
Let's look at that for a second. That car was 35,650 new.
Yeah.
It's 4 model years old.
And it's got 30,000 miles on it.
Okay, so it's low miles. It's low miles for the year, but it's 4 model years old, and they're asking $10,000 less than what it was when it was a brand new car. That's crazy.
And that was the decision that Mercedes made, and now they're not selling as used cars. Obviously, this one's been sitting here only 41 days, so nothing too terribly crazy quite yet. I could go to the market insights here. What is it? A 59 days supply. I could go to the buyer's guide and get even more. But it's fascinating that because Mercedes obviously made the powertrain decision to go EV, but a couple of years earlier, they also made the decision to go down market. So it seems like they made two decisions that didn't work out particularly well. Because if I come up here now and if we looked at like E-Class vehicles and I went to new, look at the price points on these things: $117,000, $108,000, $93,000.
The good news is that 4 model years from now, at $108,000, you'd be able to buy it for $98,000 based on the what dealers are asking for used ones at the moment.
So Mercedes made some big strategic mistakes, and now they're kind of walking them back to try and get back on firm footing.
Well, it takes a lot of let me rephrase. It took a lot of cash to enter into the EV space.
Totally. Yeah. Remember we had that article on our website tracking like $1 trillion of committed investments for electric vehicles. Yeah.
And so and it hasn't, I'm not saying EV sales have fallen off a cliff. They have not. They continue to go up. They just haven't gone up at the rate that most of these manufacturers thought they would. Yeah. And that's what's coming back to bite them in the butt. And so they're not selling enough of them for them to finally start making money selling EVs, because
that plus Mercedes went to go compete with Honda, Toyota, Subaru, Hyundai. They did. $35,000 Mercedes was to compete with those brands, and that didn't work either. So they made
Yeah.
two mistakes. They made that mistake and the EV mistake, and now I think that's kind of doubling down the challenging position that they're in.
Yeah, and they have determined that they need to reduce expenses significantly over the next couple of years. And then there was, I believe, another article that just came out just prior to us going on air, that Mercedes-Benz expects, if there are tariffs as has been suggested are going to happen on April 2nd, that those tariffs would cost or could cost Mercedes-Benz upwards of $1 billion. Now, that's a lot of money. So that's another potential hit that they have to be looking at when they're trying to figure out how to cut expenses. So it is, they've got they, like Stellantis, like many of them, like VW, like Nissan, they have issues. Most of the major manufacturers have issues today.
But there's a spectrum there, because BMW does not have as significant issues as Mercedes-Benz, and Audi seemingly is somewhere in between. So for you luxury shoppers out there that are German luxury shoppers, not considering Lexus or Acura or Genesis, anything like that, that's your spectrum. Mercedes-Benz feeling the pain the most, BMW feeling the pain the least, Audi feeling the pain in the middle, all of them feeling the pain on electric vehicles. And I wonder why. You go to the car search, you look at new EVs from Mercedes. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They're all 120. That's our cheapest one so far on this first page. 110. I mean, it's just ridiculous price. All right, here we go. Thank goodness. Cannot believe I'm saying thank goodness seeing 86. I can't even fathom spending that much money on a car.
Well,
there we go. 60 grand. Thank
lucky for you, you don't even have a car. And that's one of the most wonderful things about our brand and our channel. I mean, I see the comments when people find out that Zach doesn't own a car and they give advice on how to buy it. Well, you don't have to own a car to be able to give advice on it. He just might be smarter.
He's the expert, folks. My dad's the expert, not me, and I'm okay with that. Dad, let's come back here to the chat. We've got from Chuck saying, hey, went to buy a 2024 Nissan Frontier. Thought you said they had 0% financing. They told me they do not. Let's double check, man. Nissan Frontier. Is that what I heard? Nissan.
Yeah, that's what you just said.
Frontier. Let's get rid of electric. 2024 Nissan Frontier. One of the cool things that we also have on the CarEdge car search is if you scroll down below the window sticker, the buyer's guide, we've got the days on market, the market insights. Keep going down, down, down. No, I don't see 0% financing. I see the lease incentive and the $5,000. Let me do view all incentives just to do a quick double check. Finance. No finance incentives right now from Nissan.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Sorry if we did misinform you, Chuck, but nope, no finance incentives on the front. From Andrew, thank you, Andrew, for the kind contribution. If you were to get an electric vehicle, what would it be, make, and model? Let's think for a second.
I'm thinking for a second. If I were,
I know.
If I were to get an electric vehicle, what make and what model? I would say the make for me would probably be either a Hyundai or a Kia, because they have really committed to doing EVs. So that and I kind of, what was it, what was the one that had the swoopy 4-door coupey looking?
The EV6?
I think so. Yes.
Yeah.
You're
thinking
so
EV6?
I think and they cornered the market on the most LED lights you could possibly put on a car. So I think that might be it.
I think I would go for, doesn't Porsche make a Panamera with like an electric engine? I think it's hybrid though. I don't think they make, the Taycan's the only full electric vehicle, but I would go Panamera with the electric engine. That's what I would do if money was no option.
Okay. Now for me, realistically, living where I live and not having to go, probably a mini electric vehicle would be perfect for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, something with a 10-mile range that would take me 2 months to
Use the battery. We've got from earlier in the showdown from Ryan. Thanks for this, Ryan. Hi. I've had a car with negative equity. I finally got a great deal on a 2024 Volkswagen Tiguan R-Line Black for $1,100 under MSRP out the door. None of it would have been possible without your help. It's incredible what we as a community are able to do here at CarEdge. So thank you, Ryan, for taking a few minutes out of your day to share your success story with us. And Dad, it reminds me, for those of you that are unfamiliar with the business beyond YouTube, beyond YouTube, we are so fortunate for everything that we get to do. Really, really, really proud of the reviews and ratings and everything like that. All right, we got a photo here coming. Wait for it. Yeah, there you go, from Jim posting his photo. So please, y'all, like we couldn't be here. We wouldn't be here without you. And super, super proud of the company that we've been able to build and the company that we keep back at CarEdge.com and the incredible team that we have. So thank you all for continuing to share, share what we do with your friends, loved ones, etc. So yeah, really cool stuff.
I did notice in the comments that Igor had suggested perhaps a Vespa for me. Which would be great if it wasn't 23 degrees outside. I am so conflicted, and this part pisses everybody off when I go, well, I can't believe Ray actually drives a Mini. Well, I don't own a Mini. I lease a Mini. I don't own a Mini because I know what it takes to own one once they're out of warranty. But if you hardly drive and you lease the damn thing, it's a fun car to drive. But I'm conflicted. I have 3 lease payments left. My lease is up.
Yeah,
May 21st. We're 90 days away, basically, and I have to decide what it is I'm going to do.
Let me ask you a question, Dad. If you are going to buy your lease out,
yes,
where would you go? Where would you go?
I would go to Lease End. Absolutely, I would let them help me with that. But I don't know. I said this to you. I don't really want to own a Mini, even though my car's only got 8,800, 8,900 miles on it, for goodness sake. But I don't want to own one when they're out of warranty. And the warranty's 4 years, 50,000 miles. Obviously it would be out of warranty by time, not by mileage. And so I would only have warranty for another year if I were to buy the damn thing. And then I think to myself, do I really need a car? Should I just use Lyft and Uber? And then I think, I live at the shore and I don't want to have to depend on Lyft and Uber to get me wherever it is I have to go. So a Vespa, I mentioned that to you one time. Maybe I should do a Vespa. But, I'm 73 years old. My balance might not be nearly as good as it used to be. And last time I checked, there's just not as much protection on the sides if I do fall off the damn thing. So
maybe buy the Mini and get your vehicle service contract, your extended warranty through CarEdge. That's an option.
Even the extended warranty through CarEdge would be too much because it's a Mini. Damn it. Okay. They know what's ahead.
That's fair.
And then I think, okay, maybe a retired service loaner of some kind that has 3,000-4,000 miles on it that's been certified. Maybe like a Crosstrek retired or.
All right, so I've got a question for our community. If my dad,
what should I do?
Well, not what should he do. Should we do a live stream of just my dad trying to demonstrating? You know how funny it is, Dad? You used to sell cars for 40 plus years. You'd have customers come in and kick tires, because they weren't sure what they wanted to buy.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Look at me. Yeah, I struggle with certain things and I overthink certain things. And I remember one time I wanted to buy a digital camera years and years and years ago. And it was like, the damn thing was like $249. And I struggled for like 5 or 6 months studying digital cameras. Like I knew what the hell I was studying and how much I should spend. And finally, after 6 months, I said to myself, my God, this is like brain damage. Just hit the buy button and be done with it already. Look at how many pictures you could have taken in the last 6 months. it's so I over analyze things and I overthink things, and it's like, what the hell am I doing here? I mean, do I really need to commit $500 or $600 a month to a car between a car payment and insurance, and to drive 2,500 miles a year? If that, and I don't even think it's that anymore. I think it's like probably less than 2,000 miles a year. Am I just better taking a cab? Help me here, folks. Help talk me through this. Have it make, because I need to figure out a way to have this make sense. Because to me, it doesn't really make a lot of sense anymore. I'm sorry. I'll be good now.
You're incredible, man.
Well, I'm sharing. I'm telling you, I'm grasping at straws and I need help.
No, it's very clear. Very clear.
Yeah.
Very clear. All right, folks, friendly reminder, CarEdge.com. If we can help you with anything, go take a peek. You're going to want to tune in tomorrow because I'm sure we will have the next dimension to my dad's saga of what vehicle he gets next. Check it out, folks, CarEdge.com. Thank you, Lease End, for sponsoring today's show. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in and continuing to support us and our mission. And, Dad, I hope you don't stress and fret too much this afternoon. Enjoy the, I don't know, what do you got, teens? Single-digit wind chills? What do you got?
Well, it's like 27 degrees and it's always breezy at the shore. So, it probably has a feel of like 10 or 15 degrees. And now I have to stress over what I talked to you before the show. I don't know what to do about food today. Okay. Do I really want to put my ass in the car? I have to go outside where it's freezing and go drive somewhere. Or should I just settle for peanut butter and jelly on a really cold, blustery day here at the shore?
I don't know, Dad. Here, wait. We'll leave the live stream open and let you talk to the community, and we'll see what solution you guys come up with. Let's see.
It is tuna sandwich couldn't be bad. It is just so you get to a certain stage in life and everything just becomes difficult, and it's like man, why can't I live somewhere warm and maybe I could actually walk over to a restaurant?
All right, gang. We'll see you back here tomorrow. We'll let you know what my dad had for lunch then, too.